All right, just over a week ago, Giannis turned 30 years old. And by the time he turned 30, he scored the seventh highest most points in his career. And according to Giannis, there's a whole other level he could tap into soon.
And you tell Eric Name, shout out to Eric Name. You tell him, like, I feel like there's two more levels.
Yeah.
You're telling me this dude has two more levels to reach?
I feel very confident about myself, my ability, and my belief right now is very, very strong. But I'm tapping to that next level right now. Yes. And I think there's one more level to me.
Now we got to talk about the Bucks' current situation because it's looking quite interesting now. The Bucks are set to face the OKC Thunder, the #1 seed in the Western Conference, in the in-season tournament final, the NBA Cup Final. And when I made this video about the Bucks 3 weeks ago, they were in a very different situation. Obviously, they were 2-8, and after 2-8 start, they won 2 straight games against the Raptors and the Pistons, right? As I outlined in this video here, realistically, I thought they would go 6-4, but they also ended up actually going 9-1 in the next 10 games. They have now won 12 of their last 15 games, which is actually quite impressive. And I will say, I don't see the Doc Rivers jokes on the timeline anymore. I don't see many people making fun of him anymore. We all know why, though. Of course, winning cures all. Look at this. The last 15 games right here, you can see up to that point, they've only lost 3 games over the last month or so. It's quite interesting, of course. And after beating the Hawks in the in-season tournament to reach the final, they're looking on the up and up now. Something that has to be said as to why the Bucks were winning so many games, right? Partly due to the greatness that is Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's having career highs in points per game, assists per game, field goal percentage, paint points per game, fast break points per game, mid-range field goals made per game.
I think there's one more level to me. This year, I'm tapping to that level. I feel very, very comfortable being a threat outside in the mid-range, like giving them like the Vin Baker, the shake and bake. You know, I've watched a lot of clips of him. And I just love being a threat out there. He allows me to rest my body. And you know what I'm talking about. Like when you play 35 minutes in a season, and then you got to put so much load, carry a team one game, and then you got to do all this and get to the playoffs and then still be fresh to, compete, which in the last 2 years I haven't. Yeah. So I kind of have to change my game. And I've been really locked in.
What Giannis is talking about here is he has to take an emphasis on the mid-range game. And it's to the point where most recently, he's been a legit threat from the mid-range.
And I'm going to give you one interesting fact. Last year, the whole year, I made like 36 mid-range shots. Yes. This year, I think I'm like at 55 already, and it's only been 20-something games, 20.
There's this great website that came out recently. It's in beta, though. So go ahead and try that out, man. Shotcreator.com. I'm sure the people over there are going to like that I'm promoting their stuff for free. And one thing you could do on this website is look at the leaderboards and certain shots that people take. So let's just look at the leaderboard and mid-range field goals made. And you can see here, Giannis is 5th in the league and mid-ranges attempted per game. Not just that, but he's shooting at a whopping 46% from the mid-range, which is actually quite impressive. And if I'm ranking it in terms of percentage, that's better than guys like Kevin Durant, Brandon Ingram, Bobby Portis, Paul George, Luka, you name it. De'Aaron Fox, Donovan Mitchell, Jamal, Anthony Davis, Joel. We're reaching guys that you would expect be higher than Giannis in this category.
Goes to work, Giannis with Daniels on him. Turnaround jumper, good.
A Michael Jordan post turnaround fadeaway, bro. Rudy Gobert did the same thing in the Game 7, and I know people were like, bro, that's flashbacks of Rudy Gobert, bro. I can't believe Giannis is hitting those. But unlike Rudy, Giannis has been consistently hitting mid-range shots in this fucking season, bro. And that's not where it ends. He's also leading the league in points per game, not to mention Giannis is on pace to do something that no other player has ever done. How many times have you heard that one before? So as of now, he is one of 3 players to have multiple seasons, at least 2 of them, averaging 30 plus, 10 plus, and 5 plus in each statistic. And why did my English sound so broken there? I have no idea, okay? But Giannis is on pace to do it for the 3rd straight season, and nobody in the entire history of the NBA has ever done it more than twice. There's also something to be said how good Dame has been during the NBA Cup and how much of a contributor he is whenever he does, pass the ball around and averages 10 assists. They are undefeated when he has 10 plus assists in the game. But I think what we saw in the last 5 minutes of this Hawks-Bucks game was Giannis just opening up and unlocking a new level. I mean, we've seen him dominate games before in clutch time, but just the way he was dissecting defenses in the last 5 minutes was spectacular. Not to mention what he did on the defensive end as well.
To get a clean handoff.
Up top, Capella. Wow! This was next level right here. Look at the Greek freak.
Throwing the lob.
This is not normal, okay? Like, I don't care how many times I have to say it. This is not normal. It's easy to look back and say, oh, he did this against Aiden in 2021. Yeah, he did. And it was his historical block. And I will say, the NBA made a huge mistake having these games in Vegas. I mean, this crowd is disgusting. How is that the reaction to what you just saw in that game? That's crazy.
You're just winning plays. Just got to keep on doing things to help your team win. Sometimes it's going to be a block, sometimes it's going to be a shot, sometimes it's going to be a pass. It doesn't matter what it is. What matters is, just being able to be selfless, sacrifice your body, your own ambitions, goals to help your team win.
And for all the excitement that people have about this tournament, it sure feels good seeing somebody like Giannis, who this means something to him. Okay, last season when he lost against the Pacers in that very same semifinals game in Vegas, right? He did a Dame time celebration Halliburton did. But Giannis said he left a bad taste in his mouth. And now that he won this one, he can drink happily knowing that that taste in his mouth is going to be sweet. Okay, I'm sorry. I had to. I'm sorry. I had to. I'm sorry.
Like you can see in that play, both me and Brooke went up and tried to get that block. We both fell down, and that's winning plays. That's winning plays. We got to see that clip over and over again and show it within the team that this is what it takes to win games. It doesn't matter if it's an NBA Cup game, doesn't matter if it's a regular season game, doesn't matter if it's an NBA Finals game. Like, to win games, to put yourself in a position to be successful, you got to have plays like that.
But yeah, back to my Greek king here. He's leveling up at the right time of the season. And this, by the way, being after all the noise that was being said about the Bucks. Oh, they have to trade Giannis, yada, yada, yada.
The day you beat the team, like today, Vegas, baby, the Bucks are rolling. They're going to Vegas. Blackjack. Wow. Wow. And the day you lose, they suck. They get him out of here. Trade Giannis, and he has blood in his hands, and nobody wants him, and he can shoot and lick and blah, blah, blah. Bad teammate, 0 IQ. I'm like, guys, yesterday I was the best player in the world.
Now, I will say, there's something about Giannis sometimes. Giannis does some boneheaded things on the court, and it's like inexplicable because it's like, why would you do that?
Drew Holiday's got 16. Antetokounmpo for 3. It's no good.
I remember watching this game, and it's like, yo, time and place. There's no good time and place for this shot right here. With a minute and a half left, this is not the shot to take. You're down 1. You could literally just take the lead with a mid-range or a jump shot or a layup. It's just dumb. He even did this against the Magic with like less than 5 seconds left. He just shot it and he airballed the shot. And this goes back to what Giannis said in this part as well, how he's fearless. He doesn't care so much that, he'll miss a shot like that in the closing minutes.
So there's going to be times like today I came down. And it was like 3-4, and I had like an angle to drive the ball. And I'm like, no, F it. I'm shooting a 3. Airball. Anybody else will fold. No, I don't care. I've airball, free throws. I've thrown the ball over. I've missed game-winning shots. I don't care, man. I only live once. Can't go back. Can't change it, but I only live once, man. I'm going to keep on doing it. So there's nothing for me to fear. I really believe like winning is in my nature. I love to win. I don't care about stats. I don't care about accolades. I love to win. Winning is my nature. So when I approach the game with a fearless mind and a winning mentality.
One thing I realized quickly watching this podcast recently that was on Finas's podcast with Giannis is that he's locked in and he does not care what the media or the outside voices say about him and about his game and about him leaving Milwaukee. Oh, he has to leave Milwaukee. This guy is locked in. And the scariest part, I think, is that apparently he's evolving.
One thing that I came into the season with, I said, like, we can talk about you have to be like that guy. Like a lot of players, like the watch clips of, Luka, Jokic, Shea, Embiid, Booker, Moran, like a lot of players. There's no other Giannis. There's never been another Giannis throughout the history of the game. To be able, I'm not 285 pounds. Like Shaq. On a good day, I'm like 245. At the end of the day, like I have to impress that. I don't want to be KD, Luka, or Shea. Obviously, have great things in their game. Very, very talented in a lot of aspects in the game, but they've never been another person like me. So why would I try to change? I just got to involve Giannis. And that was my mindset all year. Involve Giannis every single day.
Evolve Giannis, bro.
So he's been working so far.
Do we understand how scary that is for the rest of the NBA to hear evolve?
People have said it for years. If he has a jump shot, it's wraps for this league. He's going to take over. Well, he's having a mid-range shot that's, seemingly going in at a pretty efficient rate. But even that doesn't seem to be enough for Giannis. He wants to level up. He wants to evolve his game from, already where he's established himself as one of the premier, most dominant players in the league. Sorry, no, the most dominant player in the league and one of the most dominant players in the history of the league. There was a point in the 2019-20 season where Giannis was shooting threes against the Lakers. And he made like 5 3-pointers in this game. It was a career high. To this day, I don't think he's ever done that. This was the game that, he crowned himself the king. Oh boy. We all know how poorly that aged. But I was always thinking after that game, like, is it over? Does Giannis now know how to shoot the ball? But unfortunately, he regressed in his shooting. And obviously, we're at the point we're at today where we're seeing him improve in his mid-range. And it's like, if Giannis unlocks a 3-point shot like this, it might truly be over for the league. It'll be his league. It'll be his world we live in. Oh, man.